So this is your December 2022 market update here in the Maryland, Delaware Beach area. So appreciate you coming by. I'm going to do a little recap of this month. And of course, I want to look at the whole year as a whole and give a little bit of my prediction for 2023. But of course, we're going to look at the stats, the real numbers, and the things that I go over too, just what I've been seeing on the ground here, while helping buyers and sellers, in this market. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. And there is one stat in there that I was actually surprised with the total amount of sales versus what the rest of the U.S. is doing. So stick around for that. So if this is your first time here, I'm Rich. I'm your local Maryland, Delaware realtor. Appreciate you stopping by. If you need to reach out for any reason, my contact information is going to be down below in the description. And of course, if this helps you out, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any of my content that I come out with every week. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. This is the Freddie Mac interest rate. We're going to look at that first. So you see right now, of course, today is January 5th, 2023. So right now it's sitting at 6.48%. And when we look at this, so interest rate has, been going down. And on here, as you see, at the beginning of December, it started at 6.49, pretty much where we are now. But it had a few drops. I think the lowest it got was, it says 6.27. And of course, coming into the new year, it jumped back up to that 6.42 to 48 where we're sitting right now. So the Fed raised the rate a couple times, and a lot of people got confused, and they saw mortgage rates decline. So the Fed rate doesn't necessarily correlate with the mortgage rate, although it can follow. Inflation has been softening a little bit. So that's why those rates have been coming down too. So let's jump here. Let's take a look at some numbers. Of course, I always have Maryland on the left, Delaware on the right. So December 2022, days on the market, we're averaging 34, which is still pretty quick, pretty low. You can see previous month it was around 30 days, and it's been kind of fluctuating in that area. Months of inventory. So we got 2.7 accumulation. Which is hitting right around that 3-month mark, which is still low. So still seller's market. That's always been our big kicker in this market for the whole year, is inventory has been low. So coming on down, medium sales price. December, it's gone down to 350,000 with 111 units total sold versus last month 126 units sold. And the medium sales price was 430, so a little bit of difference there. Let's hop over to Delaware. We'll take a look at this days on the market. 42, which has gone up just a little bit from last month. 40 months of inventory sitting at that 3.3. It went down just like the Maryland side. So both sides sitting right around 3 months. And then your medium sales price comes out at 435, which is actually up for Delaware side from last month. And so is units sold. You got 409 versus 393. So that's pretty interesting. So December actually brought a little bit more sales for Delaware. A little less on the Maryland side, but still trucking along pretty well. All right, so pushing all that to the side, what I've been actually seeing is, definitely a little bit of slowdown, which usually happens, during the holidays in these months. Then coming into this month, January, and more so February, it starts to usually ramp up a little bit. So I'm pretty interested to see what happens this year. So the good thing is I've been getting a little uptick with buyer inquiries, just mainly because of that interest rate was bumping down, and I think affordability, a lot of people wanted to kind of get in there and get some things rolling. And my prediction for 2023, I feel like from what I've read and some of the stats and just looking at some other expert opinions on there, I believe the rate is going to stabilize a little bit more because inflation has softening and has gone down. But So I think it's going to hover in that 5.5% to 6% range by the end of 2023. So I think here, as the year goes on, it's going to just drop a little bit here and there. So that's good news. Any of my clients that I'm helping now, of course, anybody who has purchased, you know, if the numbers make sense, and a year from now, you know, if the rate is, you know, a good amount lower, you know, they can refinance. And also, with, you kind of saw on there, and what I've seen, you know, sale prices, particularly in this area, have seemed to be, you know, stagnant, kind of holding tight. And so I think, you know, really the way the market is and the inventory is still pretty low, I think that's the big kicker. You know, I don't think we're going to see a huge decrease in pricing. Now, really, in real estate, there's always, you know, rises and falls. You know, it always fluctuates, which that's the real estate game anyway. So, I mean, I always say, if you're in it for the long term, I mean, it really doesn't matter. But I would say, if you're looking to maybe do some house flips or moving out of the area within like a year or so, something like that, it may be a little bit more risky for you, just because, you know, the market is a little bit more volatile, you know, right now. But I do see interest rates stabilizing out, and pricing, you know, instead of shooting up and raising, going through the roof like it has been, I see that stabilizing too. So let's take a look at a couple other documents that I thought that was pretty. I'm trying not to make this video too long, but hopefully it's informative and it gives you a little bit of information. You know, because sometimes just seeing media headlines, it's not the whole story. And of course, you know, more clicks, you know, more drama, you know, the more these, especially online YouTube videos or the CNN and all these other news stations, they get more eyeballs on there, and they make more money. So it helps them out a lot. So let's take a look at this. Keeping Current Matters, and they do a really good job at compiling information from industry experts. The big wigs in the industry, like Realtor.com, HPES, NER is the National Association of Realtors, then you got MBA, and of course you got Freddie Mac, just like the site that we were looking on, that's a government enterprise. Fannie Mae, that's the same thing too, and Zelman. This is their predictions of actual home price forecasts for 2023. And you can see all the way from Zelman, which is probably they're saying like a 5% decrease in home pricing. And of course, Realtor.com is the most optimistic at 5.4%. You know, and what they did was they actually averaged all these together, and you get about a 0.4% appreciation. So pretty much stagnant, kind of like what I'm seeing in this local market here. And these guys are making a forecast for nationally, but you know, that kind of, you can kind of look at those numbers. Like, again, it's all a prediction. So let's compare 2021 to 2022. This is a recap. So Worcester County here, you can see, you know, 922 less homes sold, which you know, I kind of felt that, and but appreciation 12.9% up. So that's a good thing. So anybody who's purchased is seeing that benefit there. So looking at Sussex County, Delaware, 2021 to 2022, there was 1,394 less homes sold, but Delaware has seen a little bit more appreciation at 14%. So that's up. So that's looking at the actual numbers, real stats. I hope that helped out. And if it has, again, make sure that you like, subscribe so you don't miss any of my content. Hang around, 'cause I'll definitely inform you the best that I can and what I'm seeing here on the ground. And of course, if you need any help or had any questions about the market, reach out. Information's down below. But until next time, I'll see you soon.